What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I will be doing a deck profile on the Battleship Crew Trooper deck used by Untitled in the Buddyfight anime. So this is the latest archetype in Hero World from the brand new set Level Up Heroes and Adventurers. So this deck is actually really fun to play and it's really consistent because there's so much search power with spells, and you basically utilize cards in your soul to reinforce whether it's for defense and attack. So to put it short, I'm going to explain to you what is Crew Troopers all about. So because in the beginning it might seem very complicated. So first up, in order to play this deck, you must first have a station. Station is a brand new effect, a brand new ability similar to transform and ride. So basically you become a battleship, and with the battleship there comes with many abilities such as summoning units from the soul. So usually if you are starting out as a battleship, you will have at least two troopers inside the soul. You will be able to call them mostly during your battle phase or the main phase, so they can activate a bunch of abilities. Alright, so first up we have a battleship. This is a main equipment. And now, the main monsters we have here is, we call it frames. These are units that you will usually call first before upgrading them with chassis. So these are what we call frames. So imagine your Gundam where you just don't have any equipment, and with cards like these chassis, you will be able to put on top of the frame and upgrade your frames into the full form. So many cards like Veronica gives you aggressive power because she has double attack. Meanwhile, Strategia gives you defensive power, allowing you to move to protect your life points. So one thing to note that unique to Crew Troopers is Crew Troopers do not have Soul Guard ability. Instead of, like, if you get destroyed, you won't actually stay on the field, but instead you will untransform back into your frame. However, this is its advantage because frames usually has abilities when they re-enter the field. So for example, let's say, okay, I move Strategia to center, you destroy Strategia, you become Cloaking Frame, and Frame will have his ability as in to charge a gauge. So different frames have different abilities. So for example, Swift Mobile Flame is able to, when re-enter the field, can ambush and destroy a 5k and above power, which is really good because against decks like Zwei, high power, once you get rid of their soul such as the Triple Buster, they'll pretty much not be a big problem. And yeah, basically that's it. So basically this deck plays 3 different kind of frames. I play Proc Frame for the draw power, Swift Mobile Frame for the control, and Cloaking Frame for the extra gauge. And it's just a good beat stick overall. So yeah, let's go into the deck profile. Explaining. Usually people, most of the decks that it's really difficult to explain this deck because you must really imagine yourself in combat. Yeah, so yeah, the deck profiles. First up, we play the buddy is just 4 copies of Satsuki. Satsuki is the battleship, so she's a right target. Similar to right, you can set a transform or a station as her buddy. So what she does is, at the end of the turn, you can put up to 3 Crew Troopers from a field and discard Soul. Let's look at the SPN. Looks nicer. So put up to 3 Crew Troopers from a field and discard Soul. So if you guys play Vanguard, it is similar to Pale Moon Harry's decks. Basically at the end of the turn it goes back to the soul. So it's good because while in the soul you can protect you from a few destruction, such as control decks. They like to destroy monsters, so they go into the soul so that your monsters get destroyed. And she has a counter ability during a main phase or an attack phase. You may pay on gauge. If you do call a Crew Trooper from the soul by paying its call cost, you can only use it once per turn. It's okay because mostly you use its abilities to, like, protect yourself or do additional attacks. One example is, let's say during your opponent's battle phase, you do not have any more shields. You can actually just, alright, I'll just call a Crew Trooper in front to the soul. Okay, activate ability, destroy one of the monsters. Then I have at least a monster in front protecting me against penetrate. I mean, if it's penetrate, then too bad for me. But at least I have a monster protecting me. You see? And using it offensively, let's say during a battle phase you attack. What I like to do is, after I attack the battleship, then I use ability count +1. I mean, pay on gauge, then evolve into Veronica or because you evolve, you can actually basically do another attack or evolve into her. So you have another double attack. So yeah, you can have a lot of creative ways to finish your opponents, and it's really consistent this deck. So yeah, I tried it out and I had lots of fun. Okay, so that is 4 copies of Satsuki, the buddy monster. This is just the alternate art. Right, so the main frame, 3 copies of Swift Mobile Frame. When this card enters the field other than from your hand, so you most likely gonna use Satsuki's skill to come out, you can destroy a monster with 5k or greater power on your opponent's field. So a very powerful control card. Whenever your main chassis get destroyed, you can activate skill, call out ability from Satsuki, you can use its skill. So yeah, very useful frame. Now 3 copies of Cloaking Frame is a size 1 monster. When this card enters the field and you have a station, and if you are Radiant as a station, you can charge 1 gauge. Yeah, just basically there. Because a gauge is actually quite important in this deck, because you use a lot of gauge for Satsuki skill. So having the extra gauge won't harm. Now, more frames is 4 copies of Probe Frame. This is my favorite one because you can it's always good to draw extra cards. So when this card enters the field other than from your hand, so once again, Satsuki skill, you can draw 1 card. Either that, or if one of your chassis get destroyed and you return back to Probe Frame, you can draw another card. So there's so many, and it's not once per turn, so if you are creative, you can actually draw multiple cards with this effect. Yep. So let's go to chassis. So I played 2 types of chassis in this deck. I believe there are more in the future, but for now we actually just have 2 types. Type A is the defensive type and Type B is the offensive type. So Type A is usually when I go for early game. He has the move ability and penetrate. Put a crew trooper from the field into this card so and pay 1 gauge. He doesn't have Soul Guard as previously mentioned. The size of all originally size 1 crew trooper on the field is reduced by 1. So if you're using Cloaking Frame, it's size 0. Because these are usually size 3 monsters. They are very big robots, I guess. So if this card will be destroyed, it may call a crew trooper from this card so without paying its core cost. So yeah, you can just get destroyed, you come out, you can activate skills. So it's pretty much that. Now for the offensive frame, 3 copies of Heavy Cannon Specialist chassis, Veronica. So Veronica is just a double attacker, and when she enters the field, you can put out 1 crew trooper from your drop zone into your hand. So I guess you can like add back stuff just to call a few, get more stuff. Yeah, just there mostly for the double attack. Right. So now let's go on to spells. Spells are really good. This deck has this set has given Hero World so much good spells. 4 copies of All Crew, Pattern 1, Battle Stations. Battle Station is just basically a searcher for Satsuki. Cast cost pay 1 life. You can choose and use one of the following 2 abilities. Put up to 1 Battleship from your deck into this hand and shuffle your deck. So it's very important to go into your Battleship, otherwise you won't be able to go for a win con. Second ability, choose a Battleship on the field and call up to 3 crew troopers from the chosen card so in different areas. The reason why this ability is very important as well is because sometimes even if you have 2, you can only summon once per turn. So sometimes you just want a flood field, you can actually just use this and just flood field with all your robots. So you have an offensive field. You must be very smart on be careful not to put too much during your end turns, put too much cards into this soul, otherwise you won't be able to call them out again. So yeah, mainly a Battleship searcher and just the extra core power. Now next is 4 core super machine. The reason why I play this is because most of your non-battleship units are brave machines. So this is a brave machine. Just give you consistency. Search your deck for brave machine. And you can also search out for Hyper Energy, which is good because sometimes if you need gauge, Hyper Energy is also a brave machine card. So you can actually pay 1 gauge to search out a 4 gauge adder. Simply amazing. Now adding souls into your battleship is very important, so you play 4 copies of Be Careful of Your Surroundings. You may only cast this card if you are at station. Put up to 1 crew trooper from your drop zone into the soul of a battleship, so you basically replenish your battleship soul and give you more options in the soul. So basically your soul is like your secondary hand. Then charge 1 gauge and draw 1 card. It is so good. It's basically a star deck repair with additional draw power. Now, more advantage engine. 4 copies of Brave Machine Hanger. Since we play a lot of Brave Machine in this deck, this card actually helps a lot. You may only cast this card if you have a right or station as a card, so you must be. It's great in other Brave Machine decks as well. Counter, choose a card on the field and look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put up to 1 card among them into this card soul and the rest into your gauge. It is simply amazing because not only you get to charge 2 gauge, you get to get 1 free soul. And the soul might actually help you because getting cards in the soul so that you can perform combos is a key. And it's a counter skill, so sometimes you need the gauge, you could just counter to use it. Just give you a free gauge. Emergency gauge. 4 copies of Hyper Energy. As usual, hero will always use a lot of energy, so Hyper Energy is one of the best gauge adders in the game. Now for the negates, we play 4 copies of 100,000 Years Too Early. It's one of the best hero world negate right now because you may cast this card as long as you attack. Doesn't matter whether it's link attack or doesn't matter whether you have a monster in the center. Nullify attack, and for this turn, an item on a few gains plus defense 10k. So not only you're getting a very flexible negate, you also get plus 10k defense to any item you equip. So Satsuki becomes 6k defense, which is very useful because your opponent must link attack and you can easily negate them with stuff that we play. So the second negate we play is a very interesting one. My personal favorite. I tested it and it's good. 4 copies of Suppressive Barrage. Suppressive Barrage is may seem very underwhelming, but for a turn, a card on the opponent's field loses 4k power and 4k defense. It's very good against stuff that have multiple attacks such as Butts. And let's say Butts is like 7k attack if I'm not wrong. 7k attack. Yeah, you just lower its attack by 4,000 and you won't be able to hit through this unless you do a link attack. So it stops multi-attack units, which is very common nowadays. And finally, for impacts, we play 2 copies of Main Cannon May Blaster. A very nice art. You may cast this card if you have a station and you have no monster in the center. So it's basically a Gargantua Punisher. Cast cost, put a soul from Battleship to your drop zone and pay 3 gauge. So Soul Blast 1 and pay 3 gauge. Destroy all monsters on your opponent's field and items on your opponent's field and deal 3 damage to your opponent. It is very good because you do not use this as a finisher. You see your opponent have lots of cards on the field, you can just control them, control the board early game. You can just deal 3 and simply board wipe them, which is beautiful. So that's why I play 2. So yeah, so before I end this video, I would like to thank you guys for watching all the way. If you'd like to buy Buddyfight decks and singles, be sure to check out buddy-mart.com. We have decks like these, and thank you guys for watching. Peace out and love you guys. Rawr.